those who are following us on our Facebook group, in our Facebook group, or other channels. And welcome the newbies, the ones who just discovered. This is Diabetes 101 for Beginners, our very special Warriors edition. This is when we are inviting people who live with this diagnosis to share their stories. Let's go. All right. Hello again. And I wanted to say that today we have a very special guest. It's Rebecca. We met with her in our Facebook group, Diabetes 101 for Beginners, in our support group meetings. And I think she has a guest with her. So, Rebecca, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you are, how long you've been on this journey, and who do we see here with you?
So my name is Rebecca. I am from South Shore, Massachusetts.
Okay.
I've lived here just about 6 years ago. Six
Mm-hmm.
years. This here is Freddie. He is my Boston Terrier. Okay, go by. Uh, he's my Boston Terrier, and he's been very instrumental on this journey,
All right.
the never-ending journey of the diabetes.
Uh-huh. So what is your story right now? What were your numbers? How did you learn about it? And what are your numbers now?
So on the beginning of March 2023,
Okay.
so just around a year ago,
Mhm.
I went to the doctor's first time in like 3 years, had my blood work done, and that was when I was informed on the phone in a very, very short, very curt conversation. Hi, Rebecca, you have diabetes. I'll send these meds over to the pharmacy. Click.
Wow.
My A1C was 9.6.
Mm-hmm.
My blood sugar at that time was 187.
At the moment of
And
your visit with the doctor.
yes,
Okay.
yes, from that first blood work back in March of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And my cholesterol was also quite high. So
Mm-hmm.
he prescribed me metformin 500 one time daily,
Mm-hmm.
and Lipitor one time daily.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that for the first 90 days. And after 90 days, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I was very much in absolute panic, absolute shock. Did not know exactly what to do with myself or how to conduct myself or if I could even do this.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I was started mourning. I thought my life was over.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do.
Uh-huh.
I got the meds. They
Yes.
started doing some weird things to me. And
Yes.
I knew I needed some support.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't find any support anywhere. I asked my doctor, I asked, can do, are there any groups around? But ever after COVID, everything closed.
Yes.
And if there were groups for diabetics, I'm kind of on the lighter diabetic spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Only taking metformin 500 one time a day, so they would not. There was a group. There is a group, but they wouldn't refer me to the group.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, I don't know what to do here. I don't know how to live. I don't know anything. I went on Facebook and I typed in the word diabetics to see what would happen. And voila, Diabetic 101 appeared. And
Okay.
that was really my aha moment, to be honest with you. this group has revolutionized and helped me every step of the way with this journey, and I'm so grateful. I'm absolutely grateful. I consider it, if I didn't have this group, I probably would not be doing this well.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Rebecca. And just to let everybody know, Rebecca, had not that long ago a visit with the doctor. She had her blood work done, and the results are amazing. And this was the reason I reached out saying, "Hey, let's do the podcast. I want to talk with you and you to share your story with others because we have so many people who were in the same, exactly the same situation. They got a
Yeah.
text message, maybe email, maybe a phone call
Yes.
from doctor's office informing that they have this diagnosis, and that was it. Your
Yeah.
prescription is in a pharmacy. Let's schedule the follow up in 90 days and 3 months. That's
Yeah.
all information people got, and they come to our group. They find our group totally in loss because they don't know what to do, just like you said, how to manage it. A lot of people don't have family history, don't know anyone who openly shares their diabetic situation. And I'm glad that we were able to help you. That's very for me, these are great stories, and I appreciate you very much saying it so other people will maybe share it with those, share your story or share our group with those who need this information, not necessarily your information but the information we're trying to provide to our members. All right. So with that, it sounds like I just did a little math. It looks like it took for you about a year to get to results. So what were your results this time, the last time?
So now, so right now, as of last Friday, so I had blood work done in October,
Mm-hmm.
and my A1C was 4.5 at that time. I'd also lost close to a little over 40, between 40 and 50 pounds.
Wow. In 3 months?
Oh
No, in
no,
half a year. In half a
this
year.
this was over an 8-9 month period.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so from October, I have been med free with no taking no metformin, no Lipitor, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this visit was very important. Was it was to see whether or not I could actually hack it, being
Yes.
off the meds, because I
Yes.
was not 100% sure.
Uh-huh.
But my A1C was 4.9, and
Wow.
my blood sugar as of this morning, I took my fasting this morning, it was 109,
Perfect.
which is pretty much where I am usually. I'm
Yeah.
usually between 100 and 115 in the mornings. And that's
That's
usually my range. I'm usually anywhere from 90 to under 120, and that's usually where I stay.
mm-hmm. So, you said that for the last several months you didn't take any medication. What did you do to keep yourself in this range, to bring your numbers to this level? What are you doing? Exercises, diet-wise? What happened?
Well, Irena, this group has taught me so much.
Okay.
Um, and I use a lot of the recipes that I have seen on this group, like all of
Mm-hmm.
the different chafels.
Uh-huh.
That was a revolution. And there are lots of other people who show their plates and show different recipes, and it makes a huge difference. So ever since I started, this is what I've been doing. I make sure Freddie makes sure that I take a walk every day. I don't take a fast walk, and I don't take, do a lot of fancy exercises all the time. Most of the time, I just take him for a 35-minute walk, and I walk
Uh-huh.
around my house. And when it's better weather and when I'm feeling up to it, sometimes I will do an exercise tape. But to be honest with you, I just do the 35-minute walk with Freddie, a
Mm-hmm.
stroll around the neighborhood,
Yes.
and I am very conscious of testing myself.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, a lot of people on in this group, their doctors are saying, "Oh, your numbers are this or that. You don't need to test more than once a day." I got that too.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, the most important thing is to eat to your and figure out what in all blazes will spike you. It took
Yes.
me a long time to figure out, Irena. For example, a lot of people in this group can eat a certain amount of rice, or they can eat a half a banana.
Yes.
For me, for my body, for some reason, I don't know, I cannot eat a half a banana. The
Mm-hmm.
most I can eat is a third of banana.
Okay.
So Freddie and I, we do a third of a banana, like for 2 days, and then he gets a third of a banana.
Okay.
And I used to eat a lot of oranges, and I love oranges. Well, you know what? Oranges, a nice big fat orange, is 19 carbs. And
Yes.
the rule of thumb is a snack is only supposed to be 15 carbs. And
Uh-huh.
an orange is straight sugar, it's straight fruit sugar. So I've
Yes.
discovered that if I just eat an orange, my sugars go through the roof. But this is all
Yes.
through testing. I mean, constantly looking 2 hours after, seeing, okay, this is what I ate, this is what I did, using an app to try and track everything,
Mm-hmm.
checking before I eat. How much is this? How much is that? And you can also, don't be afraid to ask your Alexa. And I don't want to say it too loud because Alexa just woke up. But you can say, Alexa, uh, how many carbs in 1 cup of flour?
Uh-huh.
And the Alexa will tell you 1 cup of flour. 1 cup of flour is 93 grams of carbs. It's going on
Yes.
and on now. But
Using the tools is a great, great suggestions. We have plenty of tools. We just don't think
yeah,
about it.
I sat for a couple of hours and just Alexa'd everything that was in my refrigerator, everything that
Mm-hmm.
was in my pantry, and cried because I had to throw out about 90% of my food. And
Okay.
at first, I could not go into Ocean State Job Lot. I love to go there because they have really good snacks, really cheap snacks, lots of other things that I like to buy there. I could not enter the store
Okay.
because I couldn't figure out how to buy anything. And
Mm-hmm.
going to the supermarket, I mean, it was just horrible. I would just cry. The first I would say 2.5 months, Irena, it was a period of mourning,
Okay.
mourning myself, mourning who I who I used to be, and
Mm-hmm.
realizing I have to change for good.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And look at you now. You
Yes, it's
you now
working.
you know so much. You see that it's working. You are much happier, at least you look much happier. I do remember when you showed up in our support group meeting for the first time, you were sitting there. I have a lot of questions. I
Oh
need
my
I
goodness.
need
Yeah.
to learn this and that. I remember that meeting and we were like, all right, we have here a very curious new member.
Oh
And
my goodness.
you
Yes.
were showing up on every meeting for a while. Now you have your different changes in your schedule, so it's not always matching that you can participate. But
Yeah.
I can say that you took an active part. You started once you were past this morning stage. You started studying your body, right? You started studying
I
what
did.
food is around, and
I did.
look,
What I could afford, Irena.
that's also important to know. Yeah. So did you do a lot of label readings when you go to the store or?
I do to this day. I have to. I have to. And I have a whole bunch of snack bags, and I weigh out everything. If it says
Mm-hmm.
if it says that there's a portion is 28 grams, for some reason I don't know why, there are a ton of snacks out there that are 28 grams worth is a portion. Well,
Uh-huh.
I put 28 grams into a snack bag,
Okay.
and that's a portion.
Okay.
And then you realize how much is actually a portion, and you realize how much is actually left in the bag. And when you're eating these snacks, you think, "Oh, I'll just have a bag." It looks like a small bag, and you don't pay attention. And then you look at the labels afterwards, and you see 2.5 servings.
Yes.
Well, that's 2.5 servings at 28 grams each, and I just ate the whole bag, and it's 15 carbs each. Well, then all of a sudden you realize you've eaten about 40 carbs worth, which is a meal of
Yes.
snack, and you'll
Yes.
be
And
hungry in a few minutes. So,
exactly. Exactly. If you snack using snack for your lunch, don't do any proteins, don't do any healthy fats or anything like that, you will be hungry very soon. Your body will call you like, you know what, that was a snack. Where is the food? I need something to work on, right?
exactly, exactly. So I had to change all of that. Now I've become part chipmunk or part squirrel, because nuts have quite a bit of protein. They have
Yes.
some fat, but they have quite a bit of protein, and they're crunchy, and
Uh-huh.
you can eat them and they will fill you up.
Yes.
So 1 ounce of, I'll take a half an ounce of walnuts, a half an ounce of almonds, mix it together, and I'll have that as a snack. And that satisfies that crunch need. And
Mm-hmm.
it has protein, so it actually is a healthier snack. Um, but it took a lot, it's taken a long time to figure out all this, and testing and looking at products and labels and trying
Right.
this sugar substitute and that sugar substitute. And
And see how it works. Okay, did you get the scale? You are operating such numbers, 5 gram, 10 grams. Did you get the food scale or something? Or how do you know?
well, Irena, many years I have tried Weight Watchers several times.
Uh-huh.
And one of the times that I tried Weight Watchers, they were offering a promotion on their scales, their food scales. So I have a
Uh-huh.
very old food scale. I don't even know if, most of the Weight Watchery stuff even works anymore, but it is a very accurate kitchen scale. So I use the scale part of it for the grams and the ounces, and
Perfect.
that's the way I figure out my snacks mainly. And sometimes that's the way I do the portion controls. And I also use an app called My Net Diary,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to plug everything in there. And I use the free options because, as I mentioned before, money is a problem. I'm working two jobs.
Uh-huh.
um, so I just use the free one, and I have to put everything in there and figure out, okay, this amount is 15 carbs. Okay, I can eat that. This amount is what how many carbs is that for that meal? And it was really interesting to discover different milks and creamer options in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Different Greek yogurts,
Yes.
like I have discovered plain Greek yogurt, whole milk is
Yes.
much better than any of the fat free or 1% or 2%, because
Absolutely.
it's weird, Irena. They put carbs in it.
I know. I know. Well, you see,
Why?
there are first of all, there is a natural carbs in that came with the cow's milk, but as, as long it's natural, if as long it's not added sugar, it's okay. You still need to count it. You still
Oh
need to keep it
yes,
in
but
mind,
but
but it's
it's
much better.
amazing. You if
Yeah.
you look at like 2% low, the low fat Greek yogurt, it will sometimes have more carbs than the whole yogurt.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh
it's not
yeah.
even worth it. And in terms of how much fat it has, it's like it's it's undiscriminated. It's such a small amount that it doesn't even matter. And why
Exactly.
spend all that extra, 50, 75% extra,
But
you
look
know?
at the amount of proteins it has. If we're talking about
Exactly.
Greek yogurt, it's worth it.
17 pro I think it's 17 grams of protein for a portion, and a portion is 174 grams or 175 grams. I, I
Check this out.
I have to. I've learned all of these portions. How much is a portion?
Uh-huh.
How many carbs? How many? Everything. I now have
Well,
it in down pat in my head. But you know, experimenting with different sugars, experimenting with, what kind of water. Okay, you're going to buy water, you're going to buy flavored water with sweeteners, non sweeteners, artificial sweeteners, bubbly water, fizzy water. What? And if you eat to your meter, and
mm-hmm.
you can discover what types of sugar free spike you.
Yes.
I
Well,
just Go ahead.
everything you absolutely correct. You learn that you need to go through this curves, this grieving curve, right? And then the
Yes.
learning curve, and you learn not only about food that is being served, but also learning about your own body, how it's reacting to this or to that. Plus, don't forget about stress. Don't forget about amount of sleep you have.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the amount of activities like walking. I'm so glad that you are taking care of your body, because taking care of your body, you're also taking care of your body.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And you bring up a very important point. It was I was working, I was feeling down one day, and I was zipping through Diabetes 101, which I do when I'm not
Hmm.
feeling too great. And I noticed that on Thursdays you have a podcast. So I listened to one of the podcasts, and it was all about sleeping.
Hmm.
And you were talking about how when you lower your stress levels and you get a full 8 hours sleep,
Yes.
how, or at least a 6 hours sleep. I'm on a 6 hour sleep cycle, but whatever cycle your body needs, if it's 8, if it's 12, if it's 6, um, I've always been 6.
Hmm.
So as long as you get that amount of sleep,
Yes.
your body, like, all of a sudden does a restart. There's like a restart button in there somewhere.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, so maybe yesterday your numbers were high and you were wicked stressed out because you had to work the 2 jobs and this, that, and the other, and tried to figure out how to food shop and all this other stuff. Well, today's a new day, and you had a 6 hour or an 8 hour sleep there. Your body had time to restart,
Reset. Yes.
and it's amazing how you can change your numbers from one day to the next. You really
Definitely.
can
I
make a
am
difference.
I'm so happy to hear that you actually listen to our podcast.
Oh
That
yeah.
before this one. This is great. This is great. I'm happy to hear that. Well, Rebecca, I think we had a great conversation today with you. And I really, really hope that our listeners learn and see that there are different people going through very much similar process of learning about their diagnosis, learning about their abilities, what their bodies are capable of, learning about their personal abilities. Some people are disciplined and some people not. Some people creative and they learn the tricks, and some people just go straight forward, cold turkey. These are all different approaches, but the result is when people stay on it, they continue working, they get results, and the results that they're looking for, right?
Yes, yes, it takes a long time, and it's important to remember that this is a lifestyle. This is a
Exactly.
lifestyle change. This is not something I cannot go back to eating cakes and cookies. It just cannot happen.
Well,
And
you see, once you experience this different life, when you are
yes.
more energetic, when you are in a better mood, when you are capable of doing more things, you don't want to go back to sluggish life that you used to have, right? So this is something that I find pushes people to stay on track and maybe find new friends who are sharing the same lifestyle and change a lot of things around themselves. We got to stop talking because I need to make some announcements here. So, Rebecca, thank you very much. Please don't leave. We will wave at the end after we make the announcements. But I will go through the series of slides and then we will say goodbyes, the final goodbyes. All right.
Okay.
So the first thing I wanted to let people know to first of all, you just heard what Rebecca said. She at least took opportunities and used two of our offered activities, and she already learned something. So on Mondays we have Monica Henderson, our agent of change, going live and talking about different choices that we could make, the ones that could help us to stay healthy. So that's one thing that we do on Mondays. On Tuesdays, no, it's not Tuesday. On Tuesdays, we have Telenurse Tuesday event. We have registered nurses coming live behind the screen. And at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, they are there to answer questions for people. They post just like the one you see on the screen, usually goes into the group a little earlier in the day so you could find that post. I usually pin it to featured posts and you could type in your questions. Some one of our nurses will go in and look over and answer it for you. On Wednesday, every other Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we have our support group meetings. This is where we met with Rebecca, and we meet there and share our stories, worries, asking questions. Who knows what they bring their information to there. We also often have our healthcare experts joining us there, nutritionists, pharmacy experts, the doctors, the personal trainers, and they are helping out to find some solutions, some ideas, and while we're discussing them in the group. Of course, on Thursdays, every Thursday, we go live to the Facebook, and so we have every week on Thursday, we have healthcare providers, some experts talking about diabetes. But the last Thursday of the month, like today, we have our diabetic warriors talking about their story to show newly diagnosed that this is not the end of the life, like Rebecca just mentioned. This is just the beginning of a new story of your life. This is something that you can do, that because this is there is no bad day to start a new story. So it's on Thursdays. On Fridays we have our fitness guru Trevor Brown with Fitness Fridays. He goes live at around 9 a.m. Eastern and has about 10-15 minutes little talk about exercises, about different ways how you could implement it in your life. And also he is educator in nutrition and he talks about nutrition very often. This coming Saturday, April 27th, we will have our Diabetic Healthcare Expo. This is where all those experts coming together and they have this whole day, 6 hours, talking about life with diabetes, what you need to pay attention to. They are answering questions if people pose them. We also will have the um, lunch and learn where one of the chefs will come and cook in front of you something or talk about cooking. And I also wanted to say thank you to our sponsors who helping me to bring every week a conversation to our group. It's Mink Life Motivation, on Balance Entertainment, Life-Based Solutions, and Empower People That Care. These are the people, the groups that are helping us to bring information to our members. With that, I wanted to say thank you again to Rebecca for joining me today. And everybody, stay healthy, make right choices, keep moving, and we will talk to you next week.